Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm TATIANNAANESA. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and join the fam. I am very excited about today's video. I feel like I'm always excited about doing a new video. I don't know why, but I just am really excited about this one because I have been wanting to do this for such a long time, and that is a Holy Grail series. So I want to go through like each category, like foundation, primer, blush, cream bronzer, highlighter, setting powder, all of that, and share with you guys my absolute Holy Grail products. And we're gonna start off with the first one today. We're gonna see how this video does on my channel, and if you guys like this, then I will continue the series. If you don't like it, I think I'm gonna still continue the series because I really want to do it. But we're gonna start off with primer today, and I just so happen to have 10 primers that I pulled sitting in front of me that I am obsessed with. I love. They're my Holy Grail primers. I stand behind these primers 1000%. I want to share that with you guys because why am I gonna keep the Holy Grails to myself? Why am I gonna be the only person feeling like I found these Holy Grail primers and I'm not gonna share it with you guys? Like, what? Let's go ahead and dive into these primers. Alright, so I have a mix of high-end and drugstore and a bunch of different finishes, so don't worry. I know I say all the time I have oily skin, but if you didn't know that, I have oily skin. I tend to go for more mattifying primers just to help keep my oiliness at bay. Whenever I wear a mattifying foundation, I know my skin will dry the heck out because sometimes I have like combo skin. I don't really know. I don't know what my skin does. Whatever it feels like it wants to do that day, it does it. But sometimes I'll go in with something a little bit more hydrating because I know the foundation is truly matte and will keep my oils at bay. So the first primer is from Touch and Soul, and this is the No Problem Primer. I love this primer. I've talked about it a couple of times in my monthly favorites, and I truly love this primer. I got it once in a boxy pop-up, and I just fell in love with it. This literally blurs my skin. Like, I get like the liquid form of the matte poreless putty primer. Like, that's the kind of vibe I get from this primer. I love the finish of it. I think it's a really great primer. It is a little bit more on the higher end side, like the middle-ish high end side, but it's a really great primer, and I feel like if you own this already, you already know how good of a primer this is. I truly love this freaking primer. I just feel like every time I wear it, I have a filter on my skin. Like, I don't know what it is that they put in this primer, but I just feel like I'm literally putting a filter on my skin. So the next primer is from Laura Mercier, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this enough. I don't know if it's that I'm late on this primer, on talking about it, or what it is, but I know it's been out for a while, but it's not talked about to this day a lot. But I feel like this is such a good primer, and if you have oily skin, it's not an oily skin primer. Like, it's literally just a blurring primer, and it is silicone free, but I feel like every time I wear this primer, I don't see a single drop of oil come through my foundation. Like, I don't know what kind of magical sorcery stuff is in this Laura Mercier primer, but I think it is so good. It is on the more expensive side, and I personally feel like if I'm gonna spend $40 on a primer, it has to be a good freaking primer. It has to do what it's gonna say. I don't want a primer that's not gonna do something for me, and this is one of those primers that literally does something for my skin. It doesn't even say it's for really like oily skin. It's just a blurring primer, but to my surprise, it literally kept my oils at bay. Like, every time I wear this, I do not get any oiling like peeking through my foundation. There are primers where I feel like it doesn't really work. Some people will say primers is a gimmick. Personally, I used to feel that way, but until I found these like Holy Grail primers that work for me and actually do something and add to my makeup lasting, then I'm like, okay, I don't know if primers is a gimmick. Like, you just gotta find the right primer, and I'm putting y'all on today with these primers. Like, truly putting y'all on. So the next one is actually a hydrating primer mist, and it is at the drugstore. It's only $6, and it's from the brand Hard Candy. Now, I love like prep set type of sprays. I love them. I love putting this on first and then putting the whatever primer I'm going in with that day on after it, and I just think that it's just like a double duty helpful type of thing, and I love using this. This has a 12-hour wear, and it has coconut water in it, and it is oil free and silicone free. So those are the two things I like to personally look for when I use any type of primer, but it is very hydrating. It's only $6 and you get 2.2 fluid ounces of product, and the mister on this is really, really nice. Like, it's a fine mist. Next we have this from Maybelline. This is the Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. This one is really great. It's so affordable. I'd get this primer off of Amazon because I think it's like $4 on Amazon, but if you get it at the store, it's like $6. So I'd pick this up from Amazon, but it is such a great primer. It literally blurs your pores, like it fills them in. And I feel like if you have really, really large pores and you just want that perfect primer that's gonna fill in your pores, make you look like you have baby skin, wow. Baby skin. I think that this is a really great primer. Next, I want to talk about these two primers right here from e.l.f. Now, these are, I'm just going to come on and say it, I've said it on my channel a lot. These are literally a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And the Milk Hydro Grip Primer is a cult favorite. But e.l.f. said, oh, you got a cult favorite? Okay, bet. We're gonna have one too. But make it affordable. So that's what e.l.f. did. e.l.f. came out with these two primers that are only $8. The only difference between these two is that this is the Dew Primer from the Watermelon collection, I think 2 years ago. And this is the new one, but it has like a minty greenish effect. Like this one is like, let me show you guys. So this Jelly Pop Dew Primer is clear-ish with a little tiny like reddish tint, a little bit. But we have the Mint Melt Primer, which is, they said, hold on, we about to do the Milk Hydro Grip color and everything. So we have a like green primer and a Jelly Pop primer. The only difference between these two primers is that one is a cooling mint primer. It's really subtle. You really like, it's not overpowering at all. And the other one just smells like fruit. Personally, I don't really have a preference on which one I like. They both are really, really gripping and tacky primers. Like, they're really sticky. I would even say a little bit stickier than the Milk Hydro Grip. They both help my makeup to grip on to my skin, and they do the same thing. I just think it comes down to which scent you would prefer. Next up in this holy grail lineup is the, of course, the cult favorite, the Porefessional Primer. This is a really expensive primer, honestly, I know, and a couple of primers I mentioned in this video are basically on the same realm as this one, but this one is just really good. It's definitely a holy grail. I have it in my collection and I love it a lot, but of course we have some affordabler options that I've mentioned. I felt like Benefit was known for these primers, so you guys probably already know about these, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but just know this is definitely one of my favorite primers. I love the blurring effect that it gives. I love the finish of it. I just love everything about this primer, and I have like 3 backups. I know you're like, girl, that's a $30 primer. I'm like, yes, but I bought a ton of backups during Boxy pop-up. So they were like $6 then. So I bought a whole bunch because I know how expensive this primer is. So we're down to the last 3, and the next one is this primer right here from Fourth Ray Beauty. This is the Thirst Aid Primer, and this is basically a moisturizer and a primer in one, so you get 2 for 1. Like, this only retails for $14, which I think is a great price. It's hydrating, it smells good, and honestly, like, I think it's definitely gonna be a repurchase for me. Not a lot of people have talked about this. I haven't really seen anyone talk about this on YouTube, honestly, and I think it's a really great primer. Like, you basically skip the step of moisturizing and you just go straight to priming, but you still get the added benefits in it. And Fourth Ray is ColourPop's, you know, sister skincare brand, so you do get those added skincare benefits as well. So who doesn't love makeup and skincare? Like, you know, I do, you know, especially if I can skip one step and just go straight to the next one, but still get what I was missing by skipping the first step. Best believe I'm gonna love this. Alright, so we have 2 more primers, and these 2 primers are from the brand Milani. Milani has some really good complexion products, like straight up. And this one right here is the Peach Glass Skin Primer. First of all, I love the smell of this primer. It smells absolutely amazing and very, very, very delicious. Love to use this in conjunction with like a mattifying primer. This just adds that extra hydration, and when I'm going in with like a lighter coverage makeup, I always pull this primer because it's just something about my skin. It's just like, it just works well with my skin. Even with my oily skin, I just think this primer works exceptionally well. It just leaves a dewy and luminous finish. I never really was into that, but this primer just makes me into that, if that makes sense. Like, I just love using this primer. Lastly, we have this primer right here, which is the No Pore Zone primer from Milani. This is that primer I was telling you guys that's really like a dupe for the Porefessional primer, and it's just a lot more affordable. I want to say this is like $10, so like $20 cheaper than this one, but don't get me wrong, this one's still good. But this is a mattifying primer. I'm wearing it today and I just love using this. It has a matte finish, it has a silky texture, and it really does control my oils. So I love a primer that does what it says it's supposed to do. And this was in my Shop My Stash, so this has been like really like used. I feel like I'm like literally halfway done with this, and it's definitely a repurchase for me. And honestly, I just love primer. I wasn't really that much into primer, but this year, this primer has been like a makeup product that I've just sat down and dived into and really fell in love with and honed down on the ones that I constantly pull from, the ones that I will consider holy grails of mine that I will continue to use for a very, very, very long time. A lot of these primers I have been using for quite a little minute, but a lot of them are fairly newer primers. Some are really like old, but some are really new, and I just love them. They work. I've tried primers that I feel like don't do nothing for me, but these do something, and that's why they're in this Holy Grail video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. What is your favorite primer? Because I would love to know, because I have just been obsessed with primer lately, like I'm obsessed with blush. So yeah, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.